Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this pastel rainbow cake. You could also switch up the colors to make an ombre cake, or you could just use the same color to make a simple layered cake. Whatever you decide to do, you're going to need 5 colors of yarn for the interior of the cake and 1 color for the frosting. I'm using pink, yellow, green, blue, purple, and white for mine. You'll also need a 3mm crochet hook. I'm using DK or light worsted weight yarn, but you could use whatever yarns you have on hand. Let's get started. First, using the frosting color, we're going to make 6 single crochets in a magic ring. Then increase in each stitch except for the last one. You don't need a stitch marker, I just wasn't thinking and by default I put one in, but you don't need it. And here I am taking it back out again because I realized I didn't need it. Once you get to the last stitch, chain 1 and turn. Continue with the next round of repeated increase 1 single crochets like normal until you get back to the beginning, then chain 1 and turn again. By doing this, we're not crocheting a 1/6 of the cake, making it look like a slice is missing. For the next 9 rounds, repeat the pattern of increasing, then adding a single crochet each round. Pretty basic stuff. Remember to chain 1 before you turn at the end of each round. Now I'm going to do 1 round of single crochets in the back loops of the stitches only. This will give the cake a nice clean edge, and of course I'll be finishing the round with a chain 1 and turning. Now we're going to single crochet in each stitch for 16 rounds. I can assure you I spent a long time on this cake. Once you finish with that, repeat the pattern of decrease 10 single crochets in the front loops of each stitch. For the next 10 rounds, decrease, then single crochet for 1 less stitch than the previous round, kind of like what we did when we were increasing. For the last round, decrease in each stitch and slip stitch into the first stitch in the round to close the gap. Leave a long tail for sewing. Now we're going to make the inside of the cake. First, chain 9 with your frosting color. Then switch to your first cake color and single crochet in each stitch for 3 rounds with that. Switch back to your frosting color and slip stitch in each stitch. Switch to your next cake color and single crochet in the front loop of the first cake color and the back loop of the frosting color at the same time for a row. This creates a clean strip of frosting front loops on the finished product. Crochet another 2 rows with your second cake color and repeat the whole process over again for your next 3 colors. It may be kind of difficult to wedge your hook in there, but I think it's totally worth it because the finished effect is really cool. In total, you're going to need 4 interior cake pieces, 2 for the cake and 2 for the slice. To assemble the cake, first flip the frosting layer inside out. Then, with the frosting back loops facing inwards, sew one of the interior cake pieces to the body on 3 sides. These aren't the easiest things to sew with all the ends from the color changes flying everywhere, but take your time and sew more carefully than me, because I was focused on filming and I rushed this part, and it came out kind of messy. Once it's sewn on 3 sides, do the same thing with the other cake piece, leaving one of the short sides open for turning. When you're sewing the 2 interior pieces together on the middle seam, put the right sides together so that the frosting loops on each piece are touching. I accidentally reversed this and lost the footage, so yeah, that's fun. The cake's inner seam now wants to puff outwards, which doesn't look that great. Here's a side-by-side comparison of what I mean. I just kind of have to force it to lay the way I want it to. Once you're done sewing, flip it with the open space you left earlier. It's a tight fit, but you should be able to flip it. Pull the strands from the color changes through to the inside of the cake, then stuff it with toy stuffing. Thread the needle with a piece of frosting colored yarn and whip stitch the gap closed. Now we're going to make the cake slice. It's pretty much the opposite of the full cake because we're essentially crocheting the 6th that we left out. Make 1 single crochet in a magic ring, then chain 1, turn, and increase in that stitch. Just like with the full cake, repeat the pattern of increasing, then adding another single crochet each row for 9 rows. In the front loops only, single crochet in each stitch, then repeat that row in both loops 16 times. Decrease, then single crochet in the rest of the row for 9 rows, then fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. Like we did with the full cake, turn the frosting layer inside out, then sew on the interior pieces with the frosting loops facing inwards. Sew the 2 interior pieces together with the wrong sides facing each other, and remember to leave one of the short sides open for turning. Just like before, turn it, pull the stray ends inside and stuff it, then close the gap with a whip stitch. Now I'm just going to embroider on some sprinkles onto both the cake and the slice with the same colors I used for the interior of the cake. that, we're finished. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing for more sock plushies, crochet, and whatever else I feel like doing. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!